legitimacy. But legally, William Ruto is a legally elected president. But legitimacy, you drive it from the people. And I'll tell you, the number of people who elected the president are 7.1 million. The number of people who did not elect the president beyond 7.1. So the question here that we should not waste our time discussing is that who is the president? It is William Ruto.
But across all democracies, Wafula and to loop in Mheshimiwa, we have witnessed, I mean, even in the recent case of Nigeria that is still being contested. But it's fine. There's a 50+1 that is declared, and that the math is done based on the registered voters and who turned up and what and everything. So that's why we say that, well, the president was legitimately, you know, elected. I mean, across all democracies, it's not everybody that will wake up to go and vote. It's not everybody that will be around the town or around the country when people are voting. And while this is a number, or these are numbers we cannot dispute, reality is that the little numbers that we're looking at are the ones that installed the president to that very level. Do we really want to take the country through another 5-year of, you know, moment of politics simply because there's a general feeling, or it is public knowledge that 15 million did not go out there to vote the president?
You know, Linda, you know, these people, they are just playing with the Kenyans' minds. The way we do our politics and the way the politics all over the world is done, even if it's only 10 million people who had come out to vote, as long as the rest of the population was not intentionally blocked from voting, you cannot later come back to say, oh, I don't know, the president who was elected. I'm telling you, even if the elections, only 1 million people went, the majority of that 1 million is the one that will produce the president. And that is where there are civic education and all manner of, you know, education. People must come out, because we are told, if you don't come and vote, you are basically electing the person you would not want to vote. So these people are wasting Kenyans' time. These people are wasting important government time, because my brother here, and he's a very good man, at least he's accepting His Excellency William Ruto is the legitimate and legally elected president of the Republic of Kenya. He's a good man. But you listen to him very carefully. Even he himself, he doesn't know what a server is. He doesn't know the role of this server. Linda, look here. When we went to elections, every political party had agents in the polling centers. Chairman Wafula Chebukati made it very clear. This time around, the presidential election, it will not be won in bars, it will not be won through rumors, it will not be won anywhere else except in our polling centers. So, the results that were being transmitted, Kenyans voted very peacefully. The results that were being transmitted had the signatures of all agents. Kenya Kwanza agents, ODM agents, which are the Azimio agents. So, the results trickled and everyone was free. You know, the portal was open. You just needed a calculator to tabulate the results. But now, you wonder, if they were not complaining at that time, because I would have expected, Linda, look, we are here, the 5 of us or 6, we have voted.
You cannot say that.
Look,
they complained. They complained.
Complained to who?
They complained.
No, but you see,
they didn't even have agents in other polling stations.
But who barred them from taking agents?
So look, even at the level of the National Tallying Center,
they
stood at the podium and said that this is a crime scene.
Because
declare that we really are not satisfied.
He did that when he realized they were losing. But the issue is, when the forms were coming in, nobody was saying our results have been altered. Now, when the process was complete and they realized they had lost, they came up, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. They went to court. They were told, fine, we are here, judges are here, bring your evidence. They brought their evidence, so they started saying, I don't know what was changed. And even the judges would ask them, do you mean that the form that was coming by road and the form that was coming by plane and the form that came electronically, do you want to tell us some phantoms shipped all these forms at
and
a
that
go?
they tried to present in court.
Look,
yes,
look.
they did.
Look, they were told, they were told, can you prove to this court how 3 different forms can be altered? They have the same writings, they have the same figures. One came directly. You know, it was taken a photo of, it was sent directly. Then, somehow, as the photo was being sent from the phone, it is altered. Then, it bears the same handwriting with the same that came.
What would it cost the government to say, okay, fine, we all know that we won. I don't know what the server is, but what approach would you want for us to take? Let us try and take that approach and see ultimately who was the winner.
The government
and
is not
bring
refusing.
This aspect
Linda,
of rest.
the government is not refusing what is being said.
It's
a high time we must entrench the Charter of Constitutionalism in this country. We must entrench the Charter of
let's talk about allow me to introduce the next other Wafula. First of all, allow me to introduce the other Wafula that joins us this morning. Wafula Kalistas, thank you so much for creating time. It's quite heated here, and I don't know what constitutionalism is. We are just trying to unpack the events of the Kenya Kwanza and Azimio truths that at the same time back and forth conversation as to bringing some sanity, because then the president realizes as the symbol of unity it is his prerogative to make sure that there's the aspect of unity in the country, and therefore he proceeds to extend that olive branch that appears not to bear any form of fruit. At least it is like how many days after that address by the president and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and they were very categorical that if this does not bear any fruit, 1 week after we will be back in the streets. My assumption is that today is Thursday, so they are not in the streets. Yes. Monday will be a holiday, so most likely they will not be in the streets. But in the event that they do not get anything out of this, so maybe on Thursday, we see them going back to the streets. And Mheshimiwa here insists of the importance of following the constitutional route. First of all, the constitutional route, in my assumption, is clear because we all have the constitution, but therein speaks of the public interest. And there are instances where laws have been adjusted for the public interest. And so in this case, the Azimio team would say it's fine. This is how we're supposed to form the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. This is how we're supposed to get the select committee. But in the public interest, we feel like this is not the right thing. Can we make adjustments? So is that going outside the law?
First, I want to talk about what my friend, the Honorable MCA. The issue of election, we know very well that we finished that matter, and that matter was determined by a competent court of law. But during that petition, we had, all of us, we got time to listen to the presentations. Then the IBC lawyers, they said very clearly that they cannot guarantee us for the technology that was used to transmit election results. Okay. So that one basically tells you that they were not sure if they were actually what Chebukati announced were the true results. Yeah. Secondly, we have been discussing about bipartisan approach. And the president said very clearly that the issues raised by Azimio coalition were legit. Therefore, going forward, I do not expect people to start arguing in basis of constitutional, or now we need to follow parliament to solve this conflict. That is not going to happen. We know very well that our parliament is more than 390 MPs. So those people, if we allow them to handle this sensitive matter, they will take more than a year. So my thinking is that the president should come up with a bipartisan approach, the way he told the country, and ensure that he bring all the people, the civil society on the table, the opposition, the church leaders, all people should be invited on this talk. So we cannot say, let this thing, we handle it in parliament. We know what is going to happen. People will be bribed. These MPs are not trusted by Kenyans.
But my question then would be,
yes.
Wafula, there was plenty of time, and I mean, even this question was asked to the president or by a journalist.
Yes.
So by the time the Right Honorable Raila Odinga was accepting this call at this very point, you want to tell me they did not know that this would be a parliament that can't be compromised? By the time he is giving the address to say it's fine, I am willing to listen to what the president says, why did they agree to the fact that, you know, this is the case, knowing very well that the president has alluded to this process, you know, as one that would be good if, you know, they take a bipartisan approach under the level of parliament? I mean, why did they not say no at that very early stage?
You know, the president is being pushed by left, right, center, by his people. The people that supported him, the likes of Kachakwa, Dindi Nyoro, and so many others. They have made their views known to everybody. So they are pushing him to reject what is supposed to happen and help him to run the country successfully. You remember very well the people who used to lament about the NASA, the coalition of reform democracy. They are the ones who plundered the leadership of Uhuru Kenyatta. So William Ruto should not listen to people who are not ready to serve. If you are ready to serve, you cannot disagree on issues of handshake or issues of people coming together and working as a team. Because you know very well, if Uhuru Kenyatta misused handshake, then William Ruto should be there, should lead Kenyans in showing us that handshake indeed can happen, and that we can utilize that handshake for the betterment of our country. Because I want to just try. No, when I say handshake, I don't mean that we are coming to take what they have.
That is what you want.
Because, you know, politicians, they reason on basis of position, appointees. Now that we are bringing Raila in, he will come with his people, we are going to lose ABCD. If you mean good for the country, if your intention is not to steal from public coffers, allow other people to talk with you in regards to development.
What is the role of oversight? What is the role of oversight?
Let's allow Wafula come in. Yes.
Just two quick rejoinders.
Yes.
One, I think we need a serious forensic audit on our electoral process.
That's for sure.
Whether that entails opening the servers or
a
not,
handshake or whatever.
No. I'm not even going to that extent. But I think we need a serious forensic audit. First of all, to look at our process of voting, to see the transmission, and to heal the question that why so many people don't turn out to vote. We need to seriously sit down and discuss that on a bipartisan way. But more importantly, I think Kenya Kwanza, most of these young Kenya Kwanza MPs, nowadays I see them donning Italian suits and shirts because they have actually decided to make politics an enterprise. And they are very serious that as long as they are eating in politics, they will defend even what is wrong. Yes. And that is, I give it to them. But I think what my friend here has said that is very important is that I think the president now, it is his opportunity to unite this country. Even if it means not ignoring some people on his side, let that happen. Remember one thing, William Ruto has an idea that he controls parliament. Not knowing that Kenya Kwanza is now infected with a lot of political rejects. Kenya Kwanza is now a political movement that has people who have been either rejected from previous elections.
But are they not Kenyans enough?
No, listen. Let me finish what I'm saying. People have been rejected in previous political formations. Some of them have entered Kenya Kwanza when they actually knew that they are cutting deals. Right now we are seeing the so-called government, and everybody is talking about let the government do this, do that. I think even the people who are the Ruto's diehards, or guys who've been with Ruto from the trenches, are not happy seeing people just, today they are leaving ODM, they are leaving Wiper, they are joining, it is also giving them a problem.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I think what we need to do to demystify our politics and not be the politics of eating. I remember Gidongo writing, making a statement that it is their time to eat. Indeed, it is their time to eat.
Yeah.
But as you eat, remember there are also Kenyans who out here who are not eating. And I think it is important, let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. There are Kenyans out here who are not eating. And those Kenyans are very hungry. So even if you eat, throw something for them on the floor, they will pick. Because, listen, my friend, let me tell you. This is where we have a problem. When you talk about they want to enter government, about handshake, I think what we have missed in this country for the longest, I think immediately after the 2002 election, we have not seen as critical and severest opposition. I think Kenyans have always wished to see an opposition. Raila Odinga and the likes of Karua and Orengo, these are the champions of serious critical opposition.
Okay.
I think what I am praying is that they should not go into any handshake that will take them into government, but they should remain steady firm and ensure that they give William Ruto a pie of what opposition politics is. And look
listen, do you suppose it is objective? And maybe that's the reason why.
That's what I'm saying. It is very objective. No. He's talking about the law. Let us obey the Constitution. Do you know one of the greatest violators of the Constitution? Look at what has happened there's a court ruling about CASs. There are others already who are walking in the corridors of their ministries. Yet the court has barred them. You have find everybody, and you see, it's very embarrassing. The court has barred somebody as a CAS. They are now walking in hotels and bars and calling themselves CAS. That is an illegality.
And I think I will couple that with this.
That is an illegality which is actually against the Constitution and the law. Secondly, I will tell you, it is also against the Constitution and the law, the approach that the president took when he immediately was elected and start fragmenting the opposition. And one of the things...
And Kakamumo is watching, and maybe to allude to what it is that Wafula says, he says that members who crossed must resign now if Ruto talks of rule of law. Exactly what you're talking about. You keep reminding us of how it's important to follow.
Don't teach us
all that. Let me read some more. Let me read some more of these comments that we have. Another one says, the real server is where the problem is, and it's going to bring hard disk tells all the memories of the machines, the BVR kits and all that. Let me read all these comments so that you can respond.
Yes.
On what it is that Wafula is saying, it's 100% correct. The bipartisan does not mean in parliament, and that was earlier, so it should be you before you came in. And they say it can be outside bipartisan. Remember the 8 million who did not vote. Very, very important that we do not overlook them. So if we are to go the parliamentary and bipartisan way, what about those who did not vote? Who is representing them because they did not vote for members of parliament, and that's the assumption that, I mean, there's no way you will go to the ballot just to tick the president and go out. So if 8 million did not vote, clearly they did not vote for anybody. And so they would also want to have their voices heard because they are Kenyans. And they say parliament, that Ruto broke the law by parading those who crossed the floor without, and as president should have kept to the law by saying they resign. Now, of course, speaking to these members of parliament that are sort of working with him so that they can get development to their people.
Linda, you know my friend here, my friend Wafula, the one near me here. You know, he says he's come from Machakos. I wonder whether there is no network there. Because when he says, I don't know, people are eating, they should give to Ananchi something, he's ignoring the strongest tenets of Kenya Kwanza government. It is the Kenya Kwanza government that immediately came in, it is subsidized the prices of the all-important fertilizers so that and it even registered farmers. No, wait, Linda.
Fine,
No, you have heard Linda, you have heard him alleging the Kenya Kwanza government is not taking care of the common one. So I want to bring him up to date, and I want to tell him millions of Kenyans has been registered officially by the government so that subsidies will not be taken advantage of by brokers. The government will be dealing directly with
There's already complaints about that. The complaints are there as to that.
Those are teething
First
problems.
of all,
but the issue is this thing that
it's fine, even as you allude to this fact, and we appreciate that, and we have been reporting on that. Let's not ignore the fact that as it stands right now, yes, there are cartels, and this fertilizer is not being enjoyed by everybody. Another one is that some of them are saying that the quality of fertilizer is wanting, so that eventually...
No, that is neither here nor there.
It is here, we cannot overlook that.
Look, if you say that this fertilizer is not good, you know...
Shouldn't it be a point for concern?
It should be,
because eventually you want to see
you
results.
just don't make the allegations like the one... No, wait, you prosecuted your case and you kept quiet.
And cut the issue so that we can also have...
The issue is this.
Yeah.
And it is very simple. You know, even you leader, I don't know, these people are confusing you. When you tell us, no, listen, when you start telling us here, oh, I don't know even the voice of the 8 million who did not vote. Who prevented them from voting? The issue is this.
I am reading what someone has said.
It's okay. But you see, it seems like Wafula here is almost confusing you. The issue is this. We have our democratic and legal way of doing things.
That is true.
And this is what we are saying. It has been proved beyond reasonable doubt that even if you wear sufuria in your head,
it has to take
from day 1 to day 30, in fact you are sleeping in it in your head, that will not bring prices of the essential commodities down. And these people are taking advantage of these prices of important commodities to push their own agenda, and the original agenda they have is of joining the Kenya Kwanza government. But we are telling them, look, guys, we have even taken a motion to the National Assembly so that the leader of the official opposition, in order to be given more powers to oversight the government properly, he or she can join the National Assembly. He be articulating his or her party's vision in a legal manner. But now...
how long will this legal process take? Because again, it has to be...
This bipartisan process, those are some of the things that they should be taking care of, so that even within the next 3 months it's done. But now,
how
when they start putting
before you go to my colleague, I just want to say...
We have to take a short break. We have to take a short break. And I think fair enough that we give him a chance to as well allude to this. So a quick short break, and then we come back to that.
Wakati mwingine kama weekend, mimi najiachilia.
Hata ukumbuki hii story.
Nikifika watu wangu wakinipokea na kupokeleka.
Umeset the mood.
Nimeset the mood. Naweza kupokeleka. Nikitumai kwamba mzima popote pale ulipo, nikikukaribisha katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi. Jina langu Elizabeth Mutuku. Katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi tunakupa nafasi kutangamana nao kila siku ya Alhamisi kuanzia saa 1:30 kuendelea siku nyingine. Tutapatana papa hapa umjue kiongozi mwingine.
Jiunge nasi toka hapa hadi ufuoni mwa bahari. Meli yetu itakapotua nanga kwa uhondo ribo ya riwaya hii Mwisho wa Kosa. Monica.
It's early morning in Maralal. Start your morning informed, educated, entertained, and above all, know your country. From the beautiful plains of Samburu County to the skyscrapers of Nairobi, Morning Cafe certainly got you covered. Indeed, a beautiful place to watch and certainly a moment of understanding and knowing your country. Indeed, to the remotest parts of every county. Join me, Linda Alela, every weekday from 6 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
The The diversity of Kenya's wildlife has garnered international fame.
This is pellets that we give to the tourists, the giraffes. We ration because we don't want the giraffes to eat too much of this. We want them to have more of the natural browse.
We may not always get the opportunity to go out to see the wildlife, but you'll never miss the opportunity to see it from the comfort of your couch.
This is home to animals that have been found out there either injured, abandoned, or confiscated from people who are holding them illegally.
Only on TV47 Wildlife, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m.
Disability is a club that anyone can join.
I live with special needs. It means I have a limitation. There are things I can't be able to do personally myself.
And in our journey to talk about disability, we tell the stories of those with disabilities and even sit with specialists to understand what it means for those affected directly and indirectly.
Everybody's life, mine has also been faced with ups and downs.
If it becomes a self-stigmatized thing where you feel like you are judging yourself too harsh, you blame yourself, and you perceive that it happened because you failed.
Join me, Zainab Mohammed, on Beyond the Limit every Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
An entrepreneur is defined as someone who has the ability and desire to establish, administer, and succeed in a startup venture along with the risks entitled to it to make profits.
I'm a professional financier with a professional paper in banking. However, for fashion, it's something I've always loved ever since I was small.
Started as a baby business. It was all about, you have your machines, the haircuts, where the heads bring the scalps.
We wanted something that would remind us about prayer every now and then. So the moment you mention Talit, we always think about prayer because Talit Cakes is founded on prayer.
Get to learn more about these entrepreneurs and
Here we are back, gentlemen. We have two Wafulas, Evans Wafula and Callistus Wafula, as well as Honorable Kirua Duku, who is here with us. And while we are laughing about all these things, reality is that it's really not a happy moment for the people of Kenya. And when they say, even if you walk with furias on your head,
yes,
the prices will not go down. And we ask ourselves, just how quick can the government come in, first of all, to just give some essence of remedy? Because reality is that you want a nation tomorrow. And if one dies because of hunger, another and another, then it clearly means that there's a problem. And if this is a government that is not able to at least solve this situation for a moment, to keep the country afloat, to keep the people alive until the next, long-term aspect of remedy, then really it is a government that has failed. So can we sit down and listen to Mheshimiwa tell us that no matter what we do, and the president alluded to the fact that they are working to make sure that, the high cost of living then is addressed.
Okay. What I can tell you, they are just shifting goalposts. Because you remember during Uhuru Kenyatta regime, when we were about 2020 election, general election, they used to tell us how he should have fixed things. Now, the issue of putting sufuria on your head will not bring food. They could have told us that during that time of campaign. William Ruto promised Kenyans that in 90 days, he will manage the cost of living in the country. Then now listening to my friend here, it seems the only achievement that the Kenya Kwanza government has done is the issue of fertilizer. And everybody knows that fertilizer were given free by Russian government. They are just going there, picking fertilizer, bringing it to Kenya, and charging Kenyans 3,500. That is very wrong. In fact, this government, this is a very dangerous regime in our time, because they seem obsessed in lying Kenyans. They are lying to us on the things that they are supposed to be doing. If you promise to reduce the cost of living, and you are increasing the cost of power, you are increasing the cost of fuel, they have done nothing to manage even the price of unga. The unga price is being managed by the demand and the supply. You realize that they have talked about unga for a very long time. And this unga thing is total lie, because there is nothing that government has done secretly to reduce the price of unga. Number two, the president promised us that after being elected in office, he will not serve the only elites in our community. He will not only serve the people he used to call wale watoto wa wadosi. Now, if you look at his government, Mama Mboka is the like of Millicent Omanga. Then when you look at now, Evans Kidero is mtu wa boda. Musalia Mudavadi is also a hustler that we didn't know. Now, I want to tell him, now that because there is serious concern about how we elected them, how they won election, this conversation that we are starting today is not that we want to end the regime of William Ruto. What we want to prevent future, that in future we will not have the same mistake that happened during Chebukati's time. And therefore, by partisan approach, we are saying we must invite all people, including my team should be on that table, because I'm a Kenyan and I also have interest. I want to know, going forward, if we will ever have a free and a fair election. Then, the people who are saying they don't want to see Azimio coming and working together, you realize that during 2002, when the country were united, we did not lose more money through corruption, because all people were in the parliament.
Let's be realistic, and I think that's why we started by asking. It's
Yes.
not the first time that we are experiencing this, and
It's not the
common
first time.
denominator being the Right Honourable Raila Odinga.
It's not the
And
first
clearly,
time.
all these years, you would want to say that yes, it
Yes,
has
I
given
know.
us some essence of peaceful coexistence for a certain period. Don't you think we need long-term solutions? And we say, you know what?
That long-term solution, that's why I'm telling you, Raila Odinga is not going to live for more than 100 years on this earth. Even if we live more than 100 years, we will not be able to run.
It's for that
So what we are
It
saying,
will always be there.
what we are saying, that is the reason why Muse wants us to address these issues once and for all.
Yes, in Parliament.
Because
No,
in Parliament,
let me just-
and according, just to respond on the issue of Parliament, the Parliament we
Make
are
it
not
brief,
going to succeed in doing so, because our MPs are always controlled like a remote. Some politicians will tell them
Some
what
people
to do.
that have just been elected by...
Also, we are saying we agree outside the parliament. Then we gave them a motion to go and pass in the parliament. What is the problem?
Okay.
Why do you want to happen in
These are
representatives
of the people. Exactly.
So this is what I would just say. One is that I think we could beseech the president to constitute a constitutional conference. I think a constitutional conference is a proper way of addressing a bipartisan approach, which will have church, MPs and staff. So, because when we go to a constitutional conference, we will address all these things from IEBC, and then Parliament will go and pass legislation. But it should be agreed in a constitutional conference. We've been to a constitutional conference. We don't want these committees like the Kiraitu or Orengo committees. Yes. I think it's proper if he seizes the opportunity and convene a proper constitutional conference. The constitutional conference then will address these issues and then beseech the MPs to pass legislation. I think there's no another way that we can be able to go through this thing. And if the constitutional conference way is going to be the way, that would be very acceptable to a lot of people. But having said that, I think I want to go back to Mheshimiwa Dhuku here. I think he's wearing a suit worth 200,000 and his shoes I know, and he's not the only one.
Okay.
I think the DP. No. Let us. Yeah.
A couple of times.
Yeah. This is how, and that's why I'm saying.
The president.
Linda, let us be sincere. Let us be sincere. Someone who is downing a suit of 200,000, a watch of about $500,000. It is very wrong to say to people that sufurias will take you nowhere. I think the people who are protesting, your suit can pay rent for about 100 home families. Your watch that you are wearing can take someone's kid to school. So I think this mentality that Kenya Kwanza legislators are adapting, because we have seen most of them in the span of 6 months have actually upgraded their vehicles. Do not look at yourself like you're in an opportunity. Kenya is not a corporate. And that's why I think the DP said that it has shareholding. Because most of the people in this company called Kenya are actually minting money. We have, and that is where now where we are. No. Let me tell you, Linda.
The reason why corruption is a big problem. But it has to be based on facts.
And you're talking about facts. Let me tell you, we have people who have lived along and we've traveled along. We've seen even MPs appearing and you just know this person is walking with $1 million on his body because he's how he's dressing. and this is what let me tell you, Linda, let me be very honest here. We should be very honest. Let me tell you, it is the mentality of what we are perceiving that a hustler government, which, as my colleague here said, that is not representative of the hustler. Because what do you think Kenyans will feel when Dhuku here, weekends is moving around with choppers with his friends, and you're telling people don't to put sufurias on their head? It is very absurd. It is an absurd. It is an absurd situation.
No, it's misleading.
And I said it from the beginning that it is your time to eat, but eat slowly. Don't eat with a lot of noise.
Point of information, Linda. You know my friends here. Yeah, they are trying to take us on a wild goose chase, but. The people wearing sufurias in their heads, it's not actually the common mwananchi. The common mwananchi has embraced the government programs. For example, during the campaigns, His Excellency the President and the Kenya Kwanza Brigade promised the Hustler Fund. He has delivered on that. People, are getting, small loans, and they will be increased. And these ones...
Can we talk about the Hustler Fund right now? And can you confidently say that out of the Hustler Fund, we have notable progress, that there are individuals that are making money out of the Hustler Fund, earning a living, sustainably?
Exactly.
No, look, my friends, the two Afras here, may not understand. They are wearing designer clothes here and they are coming here to make... noise about the dresses. Like him, you can see the way he is, even his face is shining. The issue is this. The Hustler Fund, and the president has been saying this, our leadership have been saying this, it is not for the rich like them. This Hustler Fund, it's about someone, Linda, that Kenyan down there, who can buy unga, can buy those small amenities, go prepare chapati, mandazi, and all of you. That person sells, it's a business.
Do you realize that Kenyans, a majority of them, are living on a hand-to-mouth?
Exactly. I know, exactly, and that is why, wait.
Make it brief, brief so I can come in.
It is not good that, they are attacking me, both of them. In fact, I should
they're not attacking you.
No, they are! Because, look here.
For the records, because I know all of you, I would confidently say that Wafula Evans is perhaps a sympathizer or a member of the Azimio side. Wafula Kalistas is not.
Both of them.
Is not.
Now, he's even here.
He is not. You are Kenya Kwanza.
No, these people you don't know.
Okay.
Like now they have a briefing from Azimio. You go hit that guy from this side, The issue is this. The government of Kenya Kwanza led by our able president and our able deputy president, has brought in policies that are very friendly to the common mwananchi. It is this government that has brought the hustler fund. It's this government that they are, that has brought down the fertilizers, which they are telling us are, I don't know, collected from last year.
And I wonder,
listen, and I wonder who stopped their leaders when they were working with the Jubilee, if it was to go to Russia and bring us that, cheap fertilizer, the same. It is this Kenya Kwanza government that has brought reforms in the coffee sector, tea sector, milk sector to the advantage of the common mwananchi. And that is what
I want us to be real for a moment.
Yes.
And it's true, what it is that you're saying is very important and it should be appreciated, at least their efforts from the government to address some of these things. But don't you think that realistically speaking, there's a problem? And maybe that is why when you all thought that Kenyans are not going to join the Right Honorable Raila Odinga and Azimio team in the streets, you were surprised when the numbers were immense.
Look, Linda, even I myself, leave alone Raila Odinga, who was vying for the presidency. If myself I want to mobilize people to mobilize, you will be surprised.
That
they will come out
because they are jobless, because they don't have.
There are many factors. No, there are many factors towards that. But what we are saying, guys, let's be realistic. Instead of telling people, let's wear sufurias on the head, let's tell our people, let's go to our farms. God has now brought the rains are back. Let us take this fertilizer. If there's a problem somewhere, a shortage somewhere, let us bring it out. Let's increase production because
then the moment wait, don't let us balance the time.
Let's increase production because when we increase production of maize, other foodstuffs, the prices will automatically come down.
Where is the shamba? Where is the piece of land?
Don't like this. You are a very good man. You look like a religious person, so now don't.
Let me just be honest to my two friends here. First of all, I want to tell you that the president should not lead to Kenyans into taking loans that are not sustainable. Because giving Kenyans a loan of 200 shillings, 300 shillings, that is like giving them something to go and buy a meal. Like what you eat for your lunchtime is not even a 500 shillings. So you cannot tell me that the hustler nation, hustler fund, that is a fallacy. In fact, that thing is an insult to Kenyans. And I want to tell you, if President wanted to help hustlers, the first thing he could have done is to manage the cost of living. How do you do that? I heard Musalia talking regularly that the war in Ukraine. I don't think we import power from Ukraine. We don't import gas from Ukraine. So what is happening is that they told us they are not going to borrow money. They are borrowing more than what Uhuru Kenyatta borrowed.
Oh, where?
Because if they go with that rate that we have seen, they are going to borrow more than a trillion per year. So it means they will borrow more money than Uhuru Kenyatta. Secondly, William Ruto has increased the wage bill by having a plotted executive. So therefore, when we start a national conversation about how we can address issues of IBC, the crucial things that are in the heads of many Kenyans is the cost of living. How are we going to manage the wage bill? How are we going to manage misuse of public funds and resources? Because you realize our offices, people are spending billions in petty cash. They call them petty cash, but we are losing a lot of money. So how can we manage the cost of living? President William Ruto should take an advantage because Raila Odinga has already shown interest in talking. So let him not listen to people who are lying to him that we are supporting you, don't bring this man here. When you are with the Raila Odinga, you'll do anything. Even if you want to reduce the salary of people, you will do it successfully. But in case you are divided, William Ruto cannot do anything. These people want to micromanage the president.
Actually,
for that reason, I want to defend the president because the people from Kachakwa going down, they are the problems, the real problem we need to handle. Because we cannot take our country back 200 years, or the 1990s where people used to fight physical fight. Going to street, it was not a good option, but they are the people who pushed Raila Odinga to go to the street. Because they started telling him that we will not tolerate you, we will not even allow you to enter government through handshake. Raila Odinga did not ask for handshake. They are the people who pushed Raila Odinga to start demanding some of the things we are hearing today. So therefore, don't blame yourself for for trying to.
How was he pushed?
To rattle a snake.
How was he
and it will bite you.
How was he rattled?
He was rattled because you realize even Kachakwa started by attacking the former president during the swearing in of William Ruto.
No, now how does
he
that
did that with total disrespect.
No, how does that rattle Raila?
It rattled Raila because the Azimio coalition was led by Uhuru Kenyatta. And it's not and you are a Kikuyu, I want to tell you. There is this notion that people want to lie to Mount Kenyans. And I want to tell them, there is no way William Ruto regime is going to be useful to Mount Kenya better than the regime of Uhuru Kenyatta. You
think so?
I think so because I want to give you the reason. Uhuru Kenyatta gave Kikuyu jobs in this government.
Where?
In his government.
How did you give them jobs?
Number two, Uhuru Kenyatta did a lot of development in Central more than any other region.
You cannot speak for Central.
No, in terms of the roads.
I'm just giving you things that you can see. Tatu City.
Where can we see?
They also facilitated Tatu City.
And I think I could back what it is that he's saying in terms of the numbers and these
the facility of government.
Which numbers? Even now we have numbers in government.
The infrastructure and all
yes,
that.
Infrastructure.
Yes.
Even now it is being
even Tatu City was just
even now
they ought to have started Konza City. Uhuru Kenyatta shifted that to Tatu City. That is favoring Kikuyu.
Okay.
And I want to tell them there is no way they will sit somewhere and compare William Ruto and find out that
I think what is critical, I think, Mheshimiwa here, I think we need to be serious when we're having this kind of conversation.
Yes.
For example, if you look at Kikuyu itself, where Chungwa comes, it has the largest number of school dropouts. And this is very, very, very serious concern.
And I think I agree to what it is that you say because then
so
also when
let's be serious when you're having this conversation. You are in government and you're not doing anything for your people.
Yes.
So secondly, let me finish. I have just told you, I've begun by telling you, Kikuyu constituency has the largest number in the Republic of Kenya of school dropouts. So listen, let me finish what I'm saying. Secondly, your own constituency has the highest number of people who are ravaged both by jiggers, lack of access to health care. Let me finish. No,
you just don't make any allegations.
Let me
Linda, you cannot allow this.
Well, of course, he could as well present evidence.
Let me tell you, I'm trying to tell you this.
And the facts.
Let me finish. I want to be very serious. And that's why I'm saying, you know, when Kenya Kwanza MPs are going to have lunch in 5-star hotels, we do not complain. So let us just tell you the problem of the people you represent.
Yes.
You know, one of the things that you need to do is to ensure that the interest of the people who you are calling the common mwananchi, the hustler, has been represented. You cannot be on TV or in public domain all the time attacking Raila, yet you are registering a high number of school dropouts.
Yes.
Why don't you also, you, even the leader of majority, for example, address the problems you have and try to make a country go forward? You are busy talking about Raila, fighting Raila, talking about power sharing, yet your own people are ravaging in lack of education, lack of access to healthcare. And let me tell you, that is the problem we have with our political elite.
Yeah.
Our political elite is so deeply rooted in their own, they are so self-centered that it is about, and then there's this, as he has put it correctly, the Gachagua access in Kenya Kwanza. This is a brigade of Kikuyu politicians who believe they outsmarted Uhuru and the so-called Mount Kenya Foundation.
With nothing on
so they think that it is their time to succeed Mount Kenya politics. Let me tell you one thing, if you're not aware about it, is that I think, and I mentioned to you when we were in the waiting room, is that the first president of Kenya was Jomo Kenyatta. The second president of Kenya was Moi. Then we had Mwai Kibaki. Then we had Uhuru Kenyatta. I don't like to be very tribal and ethnic, but I can tell you, the Kikuyus should be the last people to stand and complain about development.
Okay. Yes.
Because they are more privileged. In almost 3 decades, they understand what it means to wield state power. So when they come back here now and start talking about Nusumkati, that Raila wants to share power, that's a fallacy. I think what they are more obsessed with, it is their time to eat. My brother, eat slowly. Don't eat with a lot of noise, because it's rattling those who can't eat like
Why
you.
should they eat in
And
the
you
first
see,
place?
let
Why
me
should-
tell you.
And I mean, I'm just trying to look at the statistics of what he speaks to, you know, school dropouts and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Well, the majority are from the central region. Regions led by Kenya Kwanza
Aren't you
leaders. That's
surprised,
also, yeah.
Linda, aren't you surprised that our brothers here now,
even
they are
fertilizer,
saying,
where is
no,
that
Linda,
fertilizer?
We cannot even allow them to we can't even allow for them
we are not even going to allow them to eat.
I'm wondering,
Secondly,
Linda,
we are not even going to allow it.
Aren't you surprised that our friends here, we are discussing about bipartisan approach and what they are claiming, then all of a sudden they are saying, oh, Raila Odinga is demonstrating because I don't know, there is a lot of jiggers where he comes from. No, you know,
unless you're not part of this position.
Unless you're not here, you cannot purport to say
we are discussing issues to do with that.
And we have about 2.5 hours to discuss this. We
yes. Now what they are doing,
we can't limit ourselves to that.
No, yeah, I know, but you see, you know, like my brother here. No, in fact, look, and now you have realized, you are saying the other one, I don't know, he is half. You have realized both of them are died in Azimio.
And there's really nothing wrong with that.
That is okay.
There's really
but you
nothing
see,
wrong with that.
but the thing is,
have you given them fodder? Do you think you've given them fodder?
Let me ask him a question.
You know,
this fertilizer. Tell us who are benefiting from the fertilizer. We want to know.
Who is getting the fertilizer? They are working to make sure that the cartels do not.
The issue is this. And let them give me time.
First of all,
I'm also giving
fertilizer.
I'm keeping quiet when you are talking.
Okay, who is benefiting from the fertilizer?
Relax. See, I will explain. Just relax. Keep your cool.
All right.
Now,
so who is benefiting? Answer.
Benefiting from fertilizer.
The issue is this. This fertilizer, and I have said here, and I want to repeat it very calmly, looking straight into that camera with my eyes facing it straight. The greatest beneficiaries of the fertilizer program are our farmers. And Linda, the issue is this. You know, when you are dealing with any sector of the Azimio people, what you expect? Confusion, propaganda, because we are here, we are discussing very important matters. And they are saying, let us be very serious. Out of nowhere, oh, I don't know, your area, it has the most jiggers. Oh,
but that's a concern.
No,
don't you think?
Look, now, you see, we are not here to discuss jiggers. And
we are here to discuss everything
if you want us to discuss,
around
if you want us to discuss about that issue of which constituency has most jiggers, you tell us, we come here armed with the relevant information. Here, today, we are discussing about the issue they want to run away from, but I will bring it back to them.
All right, I'm glad that you bring us back to the bipartisan approach to this.
Bipartisan approach.
Yes.
What we are saying is this. What we are saying.
and I agree, gentlemen, that we have to be serious.
Yes, we have to be.
We have
to be very serious.
Yeah.
What we are saying is this. People have to be serious. Linda, if we allow, because you know you cannot govern a country outside the rules. We in fact in our constitution we say we are giving to ourselves this constitution. If every time we have an election, Linda, we deviate, we will no longer follow the law, people come up who I don't know serve us, or I don't know Unga, I don't know the other thing, just reasons to cause
Mheshimiwa,
chaos in the country.
Kikoi says that we will constantly remind Mheshimiwa that if it is a question of following the rule of law, it begins from that moment of the level of parliament, where then we have leaders that are working with the government against the legal aspects of their very own parties, and therefore this one should begin by resigning. The CAS position.
Listen, leader.
Okay.
President William Ruto, a few weeks ago, went to Luo Nyanza for a development tour. All the governors, all the MPs from that region were at hand to receive the president. And we see to saw them all laughing, president, you've done well to come. You see, have they resigned? You see what the president has said. And you know these people are so confused, you even wonder what they want. The president has made it very clear. I am elected the president of the Republic of Kenya, and hence I will serve all Kenyans equally because I'm a president of every Kenyan. I'm not the president of UDA, I'm not the president of Kenya Kwanza. I'm the president of the Republic of Kenya. And so, and I have said this here, and I want to repeat it, leader. If today, Raila Amolo Odinga, our former prime minister, if he wanted to genuinely meet the president to discuss how he will oversight the government as the official leader of the opposition, he knows what to do. What we are saying, Linda, let us stop causing chaos and trying to sanitize the same under whatever guise. When you say, oh, I don't know this and this one, talk to the president, he should resign, we are losing it. I mean, why are these gentlemen here not saying all those leaders that the president met during his Nyanza tour should resign? Because when the president interacts, when the president, no, listen, let me finish. Let me finish. Kindly let me allow me to finish.
Cut to the chase,
yes.
but equally, let's be
allow me to finish.
Yes.
What I'm saying is this: let people stop making themselves or allocating themselves the role of deciding which relationships or which political relationships are okay and which are not. What the president is doing, just like you saw him interacting with the Nyanza leaders, that is the same way he is opening his door to every leader, even if you are in the opposition and you want to come and discuss development with the Kenya Kwanza government, there is nothing wrong in that. But then they want to baptize that, oh, they have been compromised, oh, I don't know, blah, 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 blah.
Just a quick rejoinder before we go to my friend here.
30 seconds.
Well, okay, let me tell you one thing, my friend. There's a serious political contestation in Luo Nyanza about, maybe you can link it with Raila Odinga's succession. And the president and Kenya Kwanza is finding himself in that tussle. There are a group of Luo politicians who want to wrestle power from Raila, and they are very much aligned to Kenya Kwanza. So don't say president meeting Luo leaders. Gladys Wanga, listen, I'll give you an example. Let's be honest.
And cut to the chase.
The president's trip to Luo Nyanza was in Siaya, Gladys Wanga's county.
Homa Bay, yes.
Listen, even Siaya you went. But I want to tell you, when he went to Gladys Wanga's place, he was received and it was very good.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah. Was Gladys...
Migori as well.
Listen. Probably, listen what I'm talking, my friend. Because you are not able to meet by her, was she not in the Mandamano? She was there. Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you. The president has gone to Ochilo Ayako's constituency without notifying him, without even inviting the governor. I mean, those are the things we are saying. We should be sincere when we are speaking here. You are saying, look, it is in public domain that the governor was not invited. And the governor even himself came out publicly saying, I never received, I was not aware. I never received any invitation from...
So you trusted that?
No, listen. Let me tell you, because the president was playing, the president is playing in the politics of Luo Nyanza, And that's why he's finding himself in a situation when he goes to a constituency and the governor is not notified and is not invited.
Protocol
dictates the bills.
They are notified.
Yes. Listen.
But because of political consideration.
You know, Ochilo decided to stay away from
he was notified.
Irrespective. But what I'm trying to say, my friend, and we have to be very, very serious about this, is that we are not going to get out of these problems until we get a constitutional conference as a parting shot, where the Law Society of Kenya, KEPSA, many institutions can come together, including churches, including the political class, and discuss the way forward. And we must be led by the president.
Wafula.
Okay. Let us not deviate from the topic. It was about the bipartisan approach of William Ruto. I want to tell you how constitutional it is, because Article 1 of the Constitution says the sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya, and that the sovereign power can be exercised directly by the people or through representative, elected representative. Therefore, starting a conversation or a conference, the way Wafula said, a constitutional conference, is constitutional. Our constitution gives us so many avenues on how we can handle things. So you cannot say, let us go through parliament, because this is now the right way, because now we will be involving the people themselves, not representative or elected representative. Number two, I want to tell the president, they got to stop at him, because in case we are going to have Kenya Kwanza government is not going to achieve, the person who will be blamed is William Ruto. So I want to tell him he has a responsibility of uniting the country. He has a responsibility of bringing people together to stop people from misusing public fund. We want to have a conversation on issues of salary. We must have a conversation on issues of wage bill. We must manage all these allowances people are moving with them in cars.
In hotels.
Number two, I want to tell the president, since he's not ready to reduce the cost of living.
Who tells you?
No. The president says he's ready.
He's not ready because, let me tell you, the term is 5 years. We have 2 years to do politics. So the president has 3 years, which is supposed to work for us. Then for these 3 years, he has already eaten 7 months. Nothing happening. And the things he promised us in 90 days, nothing has come out.
No.
So we want to tell him, return us to where Uhuru Kenyatta left us, because you are not able to reduce the cost.
Linda, excuse me. Just a quick intervention. No, he has just told.
After you've talked for like 6 minutes.
No, there are two of them, they are bashing the government.
No, they are not bashing the government. We are here articulating issues.
I want to correct that. Linda, I told you these people, they are just here to badmouth the hard-working Kenya Kwanza government.
And you're here to defend the government.
Yeah, because I want to collect like what you have said. He cannot come here and say because the president does not want to work for Kenya. You know, this is a hard-working president.
We are not seeing
who goes actually to sleep past midnight, by 5 he is awake, just to ensure the livelihoods of Kenyans. Relax, wait. My brother, can you relax? You know you are in the opposition, let me tell you how the government is working.
Okay.
So the issue is this. This government is the #1 commitment of this government. Is ensuring that the livelihoods of Kenyans change. And I'm telling you, leader, even the opposition has realized, if we don't destabilize this government, it will be so popular with Kenyans such that they don't stand any chance in future politics of this country. But nonetheless, I want to plead with them and kindly go and plead with your seniors. Let them allow the government to work for Kenyans. We want to see all Kenyans, the way you are saying people are eating, we want to see every Kenyan feeding themselves comfortably. So tell your seniors, because the government is just 7 months old,
You can't say just.
Just 7
okay,
months.
fine. Even in monies.
Even a lady,
but we will say
Linda,
only.
Linda,
okay,
today,
even billions we will
even
say
today,
whatever
Linda,
billions only. Fine.
Look.
Yeah.
7 months is such a short time.
It can.
If today, relax.
It is 3 months. It is 3 months that will allow TV47
let me tell you, Linda.
Keep
today,
me or not.
Today, relax. Let me tell you something. Today, if you want to get a child, you will have to wait for 9 months.
That's for sure.
Before that child is born. So even
I will remind you that when you are coming, you say
this government
you
is not even
anticipate
9 months old.
You anticipate to bring the face of Kibaki back to the people of Kenya when you were getting into power, when you were campaigning. The face of Kibaki is one that we saw in a month, and we could almost tell that this is a promising government.
Yes.
Do you think Kenyans have seen that?
Look, I'm telling you, Linda, that is exactly how this government started. But then again,
they want to lag you behind.
Again, it had to firefight the maandamano. I don't know, they want to sumukati.
We've only had
the issue is this,
yeah.
Linda, and I'm telling you this, despite the efforts by the opposition to delay this hard-working government from delivering on its core mandate of serving Kenyans, I'm telling you, and I have no doubt, this government will succeed.
Remember
when the government came in, we had a hard-biting drought. Now, and I have said it, God has brought the rains. So, the government now is even more committed to ensuring the farmers go to the farming. You see, the subsidized, the subsidization of all in every levels is brought to be on the farmers. And I'm telling you, despite their attempts to derail this government, yeah, they are two and they are really attacking the government. I have to tell them, I have to show them in reality
Kenyans
that this government is committed towards serving Kenyans. Maandamano will not help bring prices down. Going back to our farms will help bring the prices down. And I'm telling you the truth of the matter. This time around, there will be no Sumkati. We want the opposition to oversight the government, and we wanted to do it in a legal way.
Okay, so here, legal, is the BBI coming back to hand?
Let me just first say this. First, you need to apologize. Don't use our ladies as examples of when you're explaining these points, that 7 months and pregnancy. No.
Pregnancy,
Listen. You should not.
She should be the one who is complaining. She is not.
I'm saying.
No. You see, these guys bring controversy everywhere. No, how long does a pregnancy take?
No. Don't bring that in the set, because let me tell you,
that is my mother carrying.
You're disrespecting ladies, and you need to apologize.
Look at this guy.
The performance of a government should not be equated with a woman's pregnancy. No, that is not acceptable. And I think that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that is unacceptable, and you should not use it. But let me just say this, because I know about.
You see the politics they are playing. You see the kind of politics.
That's his position.
That's what I'm saying.
This is even taught in CBC.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. No. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
When government assumes power, it always talks about 100 days.
Yes.
And in 100 days, the president came out and said, give me more time, which is acceptable. Yeah. If you're not aware that your president requested for more time, I think you need to be aware of that. Because he had a magic bullet for 100 days, which fired blanks.
Where was it?
So let me finish. Having said that, you're talking about fertilizer. We know how many population represents peasants and who mostly are farmers. I think people from your area don't need fertilizer because there's no, the food.
That's an insult to our people.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
Of course they do.
Let me finish.
Don't cast aspersions on our hardworking people, my friend.
Let's allow him to get to the bottom.
Let me finish.
No, but he cannot insult our people.
Let's understand why he says that.
No, he cannot. That is why you also understand sufuria which represents ugali and unga,
Oh,
you will not have that sufuria that side because the alternative food there is potato and the rest. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me finish. So I think
you are misleading.
having said that, I think, Mheshimiwa, for us to stick on the point, I think the same things that were proposed by the previous government on the BBI, strengthening the office of the opposition, which your president, our president, our beloved president, William Ruto, rejected.
Yes, hence my question is the BBI coming back.
He rejected the vote for the county government increasing their revenue, their allocations, was rejected. Basically, BBI was rejected. But you see now, and that's why I'm saying in a constitutional conference we'll address these things and not calling it BBI. But let me tell you one thing. It is now dawned on them that actually we need a strong opposition and we have to create an office for that.
Yes.
We have now somebody called Musalia Mudavadi, who is the chief minister. There's a total conflict. You don't know whether he's the prime minister or a chief minister. Yeah. Because to be very honest, I think we need to address these things and then move the government forward. I mean, it's not about propaganda. It's not about which position you're standing. I think this is a great country. Our politics is mature. Our democracy is maturing. And in that context of our democracy maturing, I think we need to define our politics in a proper way. There's this question about CAS. You see, it's not wrong to reward losers and rejects.
Yes.
People who have been rejected politically, people who have lost direction politically and want to come back in government, you can always have a way of getting them in. You see now, like Mheshimiwa, he does not know he plays a very big role in his area. The position of an MCA is what in the long old times would be an elder. In fact, he would be sitting in the council of elders. He's more powerful than the elders in his community. So I think we need to be realizing, and as much as Mheshimiwa, you are in the set, you should understand that your role is even bigger than what the MP is doing, or even the senator, because you are actually, you are an elder. You are sitting in the grassroots, in the community with people. Yes. And it is fair enough when you articulate their problems. You know, William Ruto and Raila Odinga, as a matter of fact, even probably before you joined this politics, these are political students of Moi. Yes. And they have nothing to lose. Let me tell you one thing as a matter of fact. There's these pictures I always see when Raila Odinga and William Ruto were in ODM. Yes. And how they were embracing each other and holding hands in the unity of purpose. These are not new, they know what they are doing. So as a young leader, you should always understand that as much as you are fighting so much to oppose and create enmity and to be hardline, remember William Ruto and Raila Odinga, they will always find a soft landing.
And then will they in these hardliner positions that we witnessed across, you know, the Azimio side as well as the side of the government? And then we ask ourselves, fine, if we're to remember that they will always find a soft landing place, then what is left of the common mwananchi who's looking at that? And do you suppose that what it is many would argue is justifiable, that, you know, a revolution for the common mwananchi cannot be started by a billionaire? And we're not trying to say that the Right Honorable Raila Odinga is a billionaire, but perhaps, you know, here we are. He is, yeah?
I'm not
okay.
Not a billionaire.
Lifestyle audit.
I'm not a billionaire,
yes.
But I want to tell you, the headliners are in Kenya Kwanza.
Not the other side?
These are the people who have openly opposed the president move to work with the Raila Odinga. And I think they are very wrong, because there's no way you can tell somebody like Raila Odinga, even if we create that position of leader of opposition, Raila Odinga is not going in that parliament. He might appoint somebody like Martha Karua or Kalonzo Musyoka. So what I'm trying to tell you is that these people are preaching division. They do not want peace. And any country that want to achieve its development, you must focus, first of all, on peace process. Once you achieve in that, then achieving a developmental agenda will be easier for you. So I want to tell the president, right now as we talk, counties has employed many people than national government, and that is a fact. And up to the moment, most of counties have not paid their workers. It is now 3 months.
Yeah.
And these are hustlers who are working tirelessly for Kenya Kwanza government to achieve. They have not been paid their salaries just because the government has not dispersed the county share allocation. And I want to tell Mr. President, if he means good for the hustlers, the million of hustlers who voted for him, he refused, he did not appoint any of them to be part of his administration. We agree, because maybe he would not understand the meaning of hustlers, because the hustlers we are seeing, they are billionaire hustlers. Therefore, I want to tell President William Ruto to spearhead talks without necessarily following on things that the politicians are saying.
So when we talk about spearheading talks and
Yes.
that proposal that this should involve other stakeholders, like who? And what are the chances that this... And you know, I want to equate this to the process of getting a select panel for the IEBC and the incorporation of very many stakeholders, you know, the LSK,
Yes.
the religious, you know, entities, incorporation of the members of parliament themselves, very many of them. But we still are not satisfied that this, ladies and gentlemen,
You know,
can spearhead
in any
this.
democratic
So who are
space,
these other ones that we're looking
what
at?
we are saying, when we call for a conference, and in case we are discussing issues and we are not agreeing, we reach a point whereby we can vote for those issues. And we agree. Once the majority say we are going this direction, we go that direction. What we don't want is somebody to argue on the basis of constitution. Initiating talks cannot be unconstitutional. If you say so, then you are very wrong. Then you don't know the constitution. The constitution is very flexible. There's nothing that you can say, I can hang on this, not to do this.
It's not a year since
it
we
can
got
only
this.
provide you with avenues on how you can govern, you can form your government. Then talking about the issues of CIS, I think if President wanted to reward his cronies, then the best way could have been, he could have created even more bigger farms and keep them to run those farms. Because as a government, we cannot argue on basis of not borrowing money. You can borrow money and invest in viable projects. If you look at our country manufacturing sector, in fact, we have nothing we can say we are producing this for us, even for the consumers of Kenyan market. Because you see, this is the economy that we are importing, even matchstick. And millions of youth have no employment. And we have a president who campaign on a platform of hustlers, but so far, there is nothing. They will tell you fertilizer. The only something that they have done is fertilizer. About maybe doing something that could have increased or created jobs is reducing power. He has increased the cost of power.
Who is increased? The president?
The president, because the Energy Regulation Authority is under the
president. To make sure they are down.
Number two, we are telling him, and I can repeat, we want him to return us back to where Uhuru Kenyatta left us.
We can't go back to Egypt.
That is a good state.
What is the point of getting a government and having them, you know, retrogress and get us to levels
what I'm trying to tell you, if your leadership is adding more burden to the people,
you're better off go back to there.
We go back to there.
And Wafula Evans, allow us to loop in Wafula Evans. Members of parliament, majority, minority, elected by the common mwananchi, and we have a general feeling that they, or at least you say, they really are individuals we cannot bank on. It's not even a year into this government. The very same members of parliament will speak to numerous matters that pertain to sobriety of the country. This is not the only matter that is going to be presented to them. At this early stage, and we do not have confidence in them, what are we telling ourselves? That in excess, in futility, and that we do not have a nation?
But let's be fair to all of us. We just came from him, we went to him, now you are back to him.
We come from him. No.
We came from him.
Okay, fine, let him respond to that, and then I come back to you.
Let's be fair.
I think members of parliament should be beyond reproach. And I think it's very important that when you are elected as a representative of the people, you go into that position ensuring that you articulate the whatever is your people's agenda. It really defeats logic that I sent you to parliament to represent my interest. Then you go, and once you're in parliament, you cross over on the other side, and you leave me as the person who elected you without a representation, and now my agenda, my ideas are not articulated. And the risk of that is that what I said in the beginning, that entrenching parliamentary dictatorship, because parliamentary sovereignty is what underpins democracy.
Yes.
That we need to see active parliament whereby we have almost equal number of representation, whether it's on the side of government and opposition. So I think what the president has attempted to do is he has interfered with that sovereignty of parliament by entrenching some level of control, and that then control amounts to parliamentary dictatorship. I think all these MPs who have crossed over, and they have actually publicly announced that their interest in parliament is with Kenya Kwanza, and yet they know they entered there under the opposition. I think they have abandoned their people, they have abandoned their people's agenda, and they have actually now moved forward to openly declare their self-interests, their personal interests. And I think they need to be punished by the people. And I remember our constitution is very clear, where if you feel your MP is not giving good representation, there's a clause you can recall MPs. And I think most of them, if they are not careful, I think, and which is not unconstitutional, for them to be recalled. I think petitions can be put forward for them to be recalled. And I think once that happens, and you had Raila Odinga the other time saying, resign. Resign is just an option, but then you can be recalled. And if you're recalled, then which means you automatically, and this is what we don't want. We want them to remain in their opposition side, and then use that bipartisan approach in articulating the business in the House. Who said that I cannot be an Azimio MP, for example, hypothetically, and I vote with Kenya Kwanza in some bills? It doesn't mean that I have actually left my party. Yes. And that's what we are saying, political maturity.
And that's basically what the president believes would get from the bipartisan approach, because it's not a game of numbers, but reason.
But now here we have people who have crossed over, and they have actually said, we will be working with this side. And they've even, I don't know this fallacy of going to the steps of State House. I don't know what these photos and going to the steps of State House, I don't know what elevation is that.
Yes.
But I think political decency dictates that I can remain in the opposition, but I can vote with the government side on a number of bills that I believe will actually assist my people. And that is very good political compromise. My friend here thinks that, getting into poaching people from Azimio and weakening Azimio.
No, I didn't say that. And, I'm speaking for myself.
And weakening Azimio, it is really not even a good thing for the president. And that's why I said another time that it is important that we agree.
That's not what I've said.
No, we need to agree, and Kenyans should not be cheated. That this thing they are saying, there's no handshake. It's already happening.
It is happening.
You are shaking hands with Raila's people.
Okay.
You are dining with them. They have crossed over.
Look
at people like
you don't understand.
Take for example, someone like even Kidero. Kidero, we know very well he contested for a governor seat under Azimio. And we know very well.
Well, of course, not under Azimio.
But in the opposition. But we know very well that he lost. And we know very well that he's attempting to actually join government through the back door.
He has joined
he's part of government.
Which means
if I told they're going to be cleared.
If I told they're going to be cleared, he has joined. And that's why I'm saying, this fallacy of saying Raila Odinga wants to come into government, I'll tell you as a fact, almost a half of his people are in government.
Let's close it, Mheshimiwa.
No.
Make it very brief.
You know, but you see now you have
we have to close, Mheshimiwa.
Yeah, but you see, this is a bit unfair because you are giving both of them.
You're continuing to chew your time,
Now, the issue is this. Number one, the issue of BBI. There is nowhere in the history of that BBI where our side said everything in BBI was wrong. In fact, we are on record, led by the president, the current president himself. We tried to listen with the other side. They let us separate the issues that were not divisive. They refused because they wanted to bring unpopular crosses and use the good crosses to pass those ones. Number two, my county has sent me to the county assemblies forum, where we work with members of even the opposition. And for example, we are very united in saying we want money to be trickled down to the wards through the ward fund. We don't fight about it. We don't have to belong to the same party to fight for the one together. And you know, when we get this ward fund, that is the closest we shall get to one man, 1 shilling, 1 vote. So we have, the MCAs in this country have demonstrated it's possible to unite for the, unity of purpose. The issue here is this. When you start telling us we want a coffee and naan-like process, we know where it led. And when we talk of the handshake, we are not just like saying that just handshake. We know if we just greet and go, we know handshake in this political context means the opposition coming into the government and getting sorts there. And what we are very adamant about is that we must have a clear distinction. We can work together. And working together means we are working together, you as the opposition, we as the government, and you are oversighting us.
And that's what Kenyans are looking forward to.
Yeah, Kenyans are looking forward to that, but to them, they want a handshake, they want Musumukati, they want us to abandon following the rules. You see, MPs have been elected to represent the people. What these people are not telling us, they are just saying here, we want, a conference and what. What they are not telling you is that this will come with a very huge budget, again, to the detriment of the common mwananchi.
But the government is saying the opposition office that you are proposing is one that is supposed to be funded by the common mwananchi.
Yes, but you see, that one allows that leader who had a lot of support to come and execute
under the budget of the same mwananchi.
No, you see now, these guys, they keep telling us, I don't do the CASs. And yet they were the ones who are complaining this government doesn't have the face of Kenya. The president said he is bringing in these people. First, it creates the face of Kenya. Second, it helps the government to deliver to the common mwananchi. So these people had better be serious.
30 seconds.
You should know what you want. This government is there. You remain in the opposition and oversight the government.
You see, at the end of the day, we really do not know where this ends. And so we can only wait. 30 seconds, Wafula.
Okay. My last comment is that I want to tell the Kenya Kwanza government that hustlers are not happy. Hustlers are waiting to see how you are going to deliver on the issues you promised them. And secondly, I want to also tell the leadership of William Ruto that when you started on, we saw you organizing big prayer rallies, trying to con the faith of people. And I also want to take this opportunity to warn church leaders that Kenyans are not happy the way they are turning our churches into political mobilization. That some politician will come to you telling you, Bwana Yesu asifiwe, when the intention is to con your faith. Because definitely you will not refuse. You see how he's talking? Because there is no way you can say, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. You definitely say, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. So we do not want the government to use religion, to use our churches to lie to the people on the things they are doing. Number 3,
as we close,
lastly, is that I want to tell also the president to disperse money for the county share so that the thousands of hustlers who are not who are sleeping without food because they have not been paid their salary, they get their pay. And about this conversation of bipartisan approach, our stand is that we handle these things outside the parliament, because that is what the sovereignty dictates. We start by the people, then we give our representative to satisfy that legally. But we are not going to allow few people to come and sit in a certain corner and try to micromanage the process we have started. The president himself accepted that he agrees with the leader of Azimio. There are legit issues that should be handled. And that one alone tells you that Azimio is on the right track.
Okay.
That is where the rubber meets the road.
All right.
Okay. I think that's in short is, I think the president needs to take this conversation outside, beyond parliament. And as I mentioned, the way of a constitutional conference, bring all the interested groups on board, and then let's people chat from there. Then, of course, we know ultimately a bill will go into parliament, and then we will have a good law. We are in a good place. Kenya is a good country. Our democracy is growing. And I think what we just need to emphasize is that our leaders, especially elected leaders, need to be sincere enough and come out and represent people. This grandstanding is not going to be good for the country. And about sufurias, I think Mheshimiwa needs to understand that a people's movement, you know, it's not a revolution. I think people can articulate themselves in different ways, and the opposition is here to do its work. And I think as much as you see the opposition is doing and you like what they are doing, you can as well take a sufuria and join them. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And one message, perhaps just before we close. They say you cannot invade the opposition and take away their numbers. Then you take a matter to the same parliament. You might not yield much out of these. It's clear that you can't be in two parties. Those also in relation to the members of parliament that have shifted to these guys. All right.
Who have invaded the opposition?
Nobody has?
Nobody has invaded the opposition.
You're a stranger in Jerusalem?
No,
not invaded. By the way, nobody has invaded, that's for sure.
The same way you saw Akina Olengo.
And some of them reached out.
No, you know, the government cannot work in isolation.
That's true.
So, the president and the Kenya Kwanza government will work with every Kenyan leader who wants to work with it.
Okay.
And in order to deliver services to Kenyans. And now we have known indeed that maandamano are not about the common mwananchi, but about the big guys who want to join the government through the back door.
And it's still
but
a
they must
quagmire.
stay there and oversight the government.
Still a quagmire, and we have had this conversation for the better part of the week. I have not been able to establish what will be the end, and so we can only wait as we follow the events of this conversation, and we'll certainly always be here to keep you up to tabs